Greetings, everyone. I'm watching some things as they play out on social media, and it sort of just caused me to reflect on my own life and some of the things that I'm going through recently. And is that thing where we always feel like we have to play nice. And a lot of times, some of us will not get any love if we don't play nice. And so it kind of forces us in a position where we have to always try to bend over backward to make other people happy. We have to talk nice, even when people are being disrespectful to us, and all of that. But I'm here to say that those days are over for me. I'm not interested to impress anybody. I'm not interested to play nice with anybody. If something is bothering me, I'm going to say it, and I might say it in a way that is not the most kindest or nicest. I am tired of appeasing other people. I am tired of making other people feel like they are more important than me. And when we live our life that way, what is sure is a lot of resentment. And in 2022, I decided that I was reclaiming my own life. And in the last few weeks, as things unfold, I didn't realize how much trauma I still have. Because sometimes, even when you choose to forgive, there's still these underlying issues that are still there, very, very raw. A lot of us are emotionally and psychologically damaged, and we don't even know until something simple happens and it triggers us. I'll give an example. I gave a gift to someone back home. When the person passed away, someone took that gift and offered to someone else. Now, I would be prepared to purchase that person that same thing. So it's not about the fact that this person would have wanted this gift. It's the fact that it belongs to me. And someone gave it to that person without asking me. And that have been happening to me for years. Things that belong to me taken and given to someone else without anyone asking me about how I feel about it. And I have done so much work to move past so many things. Like, for example, having my mother, the woman that raised me, um, depart in this world. A woman that I never abandoned. A woman who, when I gave 5 cents, that was like the widow's mite. Because back then, I always had a tight budget and I always made time for her, and I always did the best that I could within my means. And I remember going home and I couldn't set foot on her property. And no one defended me. No one said, how do you get to decide that this person who was raised by the same woman cannot, excuse me, I'm getting a call, cannot come on this property? And I kept that in. Sometimes there are times when we say, oh, this doesn't bother me. It bothers you, but for survival purpose, you learn how to put some things, you push it down, you suppress it. Sometimes this suppression thing will stay there and seethe and become something that affects your psychology, it affects your emotion to such a point where one day something very, very simple happens and you explode. Now, we already know about the humiliation ritual that's going on in Hollywood right now, but I'm just saying, on face value, we see people's behavior, but we don't see what they're dealing with over a long term. And when I see what is happening to Will Smith, for example, it just reminds me and reinforce to me that it doesn't make any sense you try to play nice or be Mr. Nice Guy or nice girl, because the ones who often want the most from you or take the most from you will never be understanding when you have nothing more to give. The very ones that you make sacrifices for, the very ones you know, entertain or you share your life with or you make sacrifices with, these ones, they're depending on you being nice. And the moment you cannot be nice one time, you are then seen as a monster. Now, here's another thing that I realize, and I've been seeing this for a while. People who put themselves first, who don't take on other people and their drama, these ones are most happy. People who place value on themselves, regardless of what anybody else is going to say, these ones, they prosper. They attain success. The ones who know how to say no, and the ones who, when they feel violated, will adjust and address that immediately. So that's where I'm at now. I'm at the point where I don't allow anything to seethe. If I'm angry, I'm just going to be angry. And if I have to behave badly, I'm going to behave badly, without being concerned about how anyone else chooses to see me. Because people are going to like you, whether you're nice or not. And the moment people are demanding that you play nice, or you just be the nice guy or the nice gal to get their love, it's not real love. Real love is going to allow you to be yourself, to be human, to show your flaws, because we all have flaws. So right now, I'm processing so much emotions, so many different emotions that I'm processing, and I'm allowing myself. So there's a day that I get up and I can feel great, and then there's another day I get up and I'm not feeling so great. And so I'm working through these emotions. I'm accepting the things that I cannot change, but at the same time, I'm saying, you don't grow unless you're prepared to change. And so in this process, you're going to eliminate all kinds of things from your life, sometimes including people. You have to be okay, because from my experience, I found that there were individuals in my past that didn't allow me to be a human being. People are upset with me because at the moment when they wanted to talk to me, I didn't want to talk. And over the years, I've always known the time when I need to remove myself and to process the things that I'm going through, regardless of what anyone else feels. But I've never been a selfish person. I used to always feel like, regardless of what I'm going through, I need to put aside my issues and attend to other persons. And I think that's where I have the most resentment now. Because when you do that, and the people are not able to do that for you, you feel resentful. So I'm saying, why sacrifice your time, your emotion, and all the other good things that come with that to please someone else? If somebody loves you, they're going to love you regardless. And if you feel you need to take time off for your own mental health, you take that without any excuse. And you don't explain to anybody who says, well, I don't want to talk to you because when I reached out to you, you were not available. Because guess what? When the tables are turned, the very ones you make sacrifices for, they wouldn't do it for you. Recently, there was a big snowstorm, and a young lady reached out to me and she wanted to talk. And I don't like people coming through my house. I just don't. you know, how I feel about energy and all that. So I can meet her in my sunroom, but that means she has to go around the back of my house. When I came out and I saw the snow, first of all, I'm allergic to the snow. And I just didn't want her walking through my house. So I went out and I shoveled the snow at my own demise. I got sick afterwards trying to accommodate this young lady. And I don't have any regrets in doing that. But when I really stop and think about it, I had to say to myself, you have to stop doing that. You have to say, no, this is not a good time. Perhaps you could do this another time. And then I beat myself. I'm like, why did you do that? Because at the end of the day, she went home feeling better and I was sick. And so I always feel like I have to push myself at my discomfort to please other people. And when you say you're going to stop, you might think you mean it, but because it's a habit, you're so accustomed to, you know, rolling over and playing nice because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you don't want to offend anyone. When we were growing up, we used to hear the expression of offense is not a sin. The truth is not an offense, right? Right now, two persons who hurt me the most. One is not here anymore, and the other one battles. And so I'm caught up between these two things. And I have to be guarding my mind and my heart not to get caught up, too emotionally involved in this. And it's not an easy thing. I have to tell me it's okay that I focus on my own mental health. And as I am sharing this with you, I'm vowing that the transformation and the change that is coming is one that is going to surprise a lot of people and perhaps turn off some people. But you have to be okay to losing people out of your life that have no problem letting you go. Sometimes you're holding on to people who are not trying to hold on to you. Sometimes you're trying to spare other people's feelings and they don't mind hurting yours. So I'm changing a lot of things, and I mean it this time. Because again, when you look at life and death, it puts you in this place where you kind of have to make a decision about your own life. You have to think about what serves you, what is benefit to you. And that might sound selfish to some people, but until you get to the point where you're saying, you know what? It's not about you. Everything is not about you. So sometimes somebody, you know, call you and you're not as cheerful as you usually are, and they take offense to that. Say, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't make time for me. We're human beings. You feel that way sometimes when you reach out to a friend or a loved one. But we just have to move away from that. You have to start saying, you know what, these persons are doing what's best for them. These people are going through the things they need to go through in order for them to heal. And you have to do the same for yourself. So it isn't that I'm not going to be there for other people, but I'll be there for them in a different way. And the ones that I have true connections with, nothing is going to change because we have this symbiotic relationship. But I'm done being nice. People, through my past experiences, people used to say some very disrespectful things to me. And I kept that inside because I was fearful. As I said yesterday, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to offend this person. I don't want to lose this friendship. In the meantime, when I was no longer able to serve their purpose, they had no problems getting rid of me. And that is what I'm holding on to. I am going to put it up on my wall as a constant reminder. No one needs you. Everybody can live without you. And the moment you come to that realization and that understanding, you're going to free yourself from that bondage where you feel obligated to people. Where you're always denying yourself, always sacrificing yourself for other people. It's not worth it. And if you have to play nice, be nice, Mr. or Mrs. Nice, to get love, then it's not worth it. Because when you're hurt emotionally by these ones, you're left alone with those feelings. You have to work it out. And sometimes if you can't work it out fast enough, people start saying to you, what is your problem? Why don't you just move along? People expect you to just move along. Just forget it. Just like I said to someone recently, what did you ever have to give up? Or what did you ever lose for you to get to the point where you tell me, move along and forget about it? I find that to be very offensive. I want to move along on my own time, on my own pace, and then decide how it's going to go forward. So, that's where I'm at. I'm not interested to impress anybody or play nice with anybody. And if I have something on my mind that I have to say, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say it with regards to how you're feeling. Your feeling is irrelevant to me if it means that I have to suffocate how I feel to make you feel better. We have to stop doing that, because we got a lot of hypocrites in the world, and they will want you to deny yourself and your feelings to accommodate them. So if I can rally back on what's going on social media with that situation, with that show the other day, I look and I see the very people who had this one man up on a pedestal, it didn't take them anything to try to take him down. It's like this, they were waiting for the opportunity. And that's why I say, don't get comfortable with these fake love that people give you and fake adoration. Don't pay attention to the I love you unless you see over time it is demonstrated. Because there are people who say I love you, and I believe them and I share the same sentiments with them because we go through so many things together. We share our hurt, our pain, our stories. I come undone. I get to be myself. I'm not judged, and I love them the same. But I am changing. And so if you see that change in me and you can't handle it, then no, there's nothing I can say. I'm allowing myself to feel hurt, to be angry, to be happy, to be selfish, to be selfless if I choose. And I'm not going to allow someone else to decide that for me. At the end of the day, people will use you as long as you allow them to use you. And the very ones that are using you, if you make the mistake of thinking that they're going to be there for you, you're going to be disappointed and angry. And we must not hold anybody to anything, hold ourselves. There's a lot of things that I want to do, and I've always put off my own things to serve other people. I'm not doing that anymore. And as I've said before, I'm putting value on me. No more time, spend worrying about your issues when I got mine. I'm sorry. And I'm about the money because I've given away a lot of money. I've lost a lot of time that I can't get back. And as I am building myself, taking care of my needs, not being afraid to say yes when someone wants to bless me, because I always had that in my mind that I'm supposed to be catering to other people's needs. Now, having said that, recently someone came and dropped off some money for me. And when I opened the envelope and I saw it, I was very upset because, first and foremost, never heard from that person, and the person decided to throw some money on what they think is my problem. And I was very offended because sometimes all you want to hear is a word of encouragement. You can't just throw money on things. I think the individual did that because they just want to consume my time, and they feel like if I give you money, then they're going to always be available for me. And I'm not about that life either. Okay? I'm about give and take. There are times when I'm going to say no to you. And because people have no problem saying no to me in my past, I allow them the opportunity to say no, even if it's hurtful. Okay? Yeah, so I'm just sharing some of my thoughts, just random, you know, I don't know if you can call this ranting, but a sort of up close and personal moment. I'm changing. I have to change. And now I know how to say no, and it feels good. It feels good. Stay blessed, everyone.